Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So, it is time for another collection video today. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be showing you my Blu-ray movie collection for the movies which I own by one of my all-time favourite directors, which is none other than Tim Burton. So, when it comes to the films I have by him, I have nearly all of them. At the time of this recording, there is a few by him which I have seen but I do not own yet. And those films are Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and also as well, and also Big Fish, and also Big Eyes. I unfortunately don't own those yet, and hopefully I'll get them in the future because I definitely do really like those movies. There is, however, two films he's directed that I have not seen, and I don't really plan to see anytime soon. And that's, of course, his Planet of the Apes movie and his remake of Dumbo. I've not heard good things about the Dumbo remake, and personally I'm not really interested in that franchise to begin with. As for Planet of the Apes, I'll probably watch that when I do probably like a binge watch marathon of the Planet of the Apes older movies before the Andy Serkis reboot trilogy. So yeah. Anyway, so let's begin showing what I got, which is directed by Tim Burton. And also, as a bit of a heads up, guys, I do have A Nightmare Before Christmas on Blu-ray somewhere in one of my boxes, but I'm not going to show that because this video is going to be for films directed by Tim Burton, whereas that movie he, of course, wrote a story and produced it, didn't he? That film was, of course, directed by Henry Selick. So, first things first, guys. So the oldest film I have by Tim Burton is one of my all-time favourites by him, and, of course, his first collaboration with Michael Keaton. And you've got to, of course, some of his character by saying his name 3 times, and that, of course, is none other than Beetlejuice. So yeah, I definitely really loved this film when I first saw it on TV when I was a kid, and that's why I got it on Blu-ray. And if you guys asking about this upcoming sequel, personally I don't really care about it. In my opinion, it's not really needed. So yeah, I'm personally not interested in it. But nonetheless, though, I do love this first movie. And now on to, of course, what is my all-time favourite film by him, of course, released after. And this film, of course, is one of my all-time favourite superhero movies ever. And it's a film that I have in 2 formats in terms of Blu-ray. And, of course, this is none other than, and of course, 1989's Batman, which I own as a Titans of Cult Blu-ray and 4K Steelbook. So yeah, this is what the front of it looks like, guys. And looks pretty cool on the back there. You know, the back cover of the movie itself. So yeah. And if you guys have seen my video on showing my Titans of Cult Steelbook, then you'll be aware of what's inside this. But when you take it out, it comes with like a Batarang badge, which you can wear, which is pretty cool. And of course, here's the Steelbook itself, which is pretty cool. On the front, it has a front of a Batmobile, and on the back of a Batmobile. And you can see, like, artwork sketches of the Batmobile inside, which is pretty cool. And when you open it up, you get a Joker card there, and of course, the 2 discs, which is pretty cool. And when it comes to the Blu-ray for the movie, it doesn't say what region it is for. So, yeah. But I can assume if it doesn't show it, then maybe it's playable in all regions. When it comes to a 4K disc, it's not a problem because obviously 4K discs are universal, so they can play in any region and no matter where you are, which is very handy. Speaking of regions, when it comes to my Beetlejuice Blu-ray, it doesn't say where that is either, what region that is on the cover or the disc itself. So yeah, maybe because it doesn't show, maybe that's also universal when it comes to the regions as well. When it comes to Batman 1989, I do also have it in a collection format in this 4-movie collection of the 80s and 90s Batman live-action movies. So this gives me opportunity to show it alongside its sequel, and the only sequel I can accept as canon. So there's Batman 1989 with a different colour to the Titans of Cult one, because I have a bat symbol on this one. It's just the generic Blu-ray blue cover. Once again, not same a region either. And there is the sequel. Batman Returns. Yeah, I really love Batman Returns, guys. One of the darkest films I've ever seen in my life, and one of Tim Burton's darkest films ever as well. Yeah, Batman Returns is an amazing sequel. I definitely love Batman Returns. Very underrated film as well, but I think deserves more love. Really amazing movie. And once again, doesn't say the region either, which is a shame. Doesn't say it on the back of the collection box either. How strange. So next up, after, of course, those, we get on to, of course, what is Tim Burton's first collaboration with one of my favourite actors of all time, Johnny Depp. And this film, of course, is none other than 1990s Edward Scissorhands. Once again, an example of a masterpiece by Tim Burton. He's made so many phenomenal movies, and this is definitely no exception. I really love this movie. Edward Scissorhands himself is one of my all-time favourite roles of Johnny Depp, and I do also as well love Winona Ryder in the film alongside other great actors as well in this. Especially, of course, Vincent Price, may he rest in peace, alongside others, and also Alan Arkin. Just a great cast. And so this is what it looks like, and the disc, however, is unfortunately just the generic blue cover, really. Not like a picture of Edward or anything like that. So that's disappointing. However, though, according to the disc and the box itself, this film is region free. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So it can play in any region, which is fantastic. Then on to the next one, after Batman Returns, because I've already shown that. 2 years after that, Tim Burton collaborated again with Johnny Depp in another film which I think is also really good and underrated. And that is, of course, none other than 1994's Ed Wood. And I think it's actually pretty cool how, you know, Johnny Depp has been in two Tim Burton films playing a character called Ed, being Edward Scissorhands and Ed Wood. Ed Wood, however, of course, is based on a real-life filmmaker, which is pretty cool. And I think it was a really good biography of this movie. When it comes to a region, though, according to the box of the movie and the disc itself, it's unfortunately only playable in my region, Region B. So, yeah. And there's the disc, guys. And while that's a pretty nice title there on it, unfortunately, it's the same generic blue cover. Like, not even a picture of Ed Wood or anything like that. How disappointing. But, nonetheless, this film is really good, in my opinion, underrated. And Martin Landau was also good in the film as Bela Lugosi. He definitely deserved his Oscar for it as well. He gave a great performance. And it was definitely a very good film. Johnny Depp was in it alongside Sarah Jessica Parker and Bill Murray, Jeffrey Jones, and Martin Landau, may rest in peace. It's definitely a must-watch movie. Then on to, as well, the next film Tim Burton did 2 years after. This is a film that I remember watching when I was a kid, and I remember really loving it. And this is another one of Tim Burton's films which I think is underrated, and in my opinion has one of the best casts he's ever assembled for a movie. And that is 1996's Mars Attacks. Yeah, I remember watching this when I was a kid, guys, and rewatching it, and I remember really loving it. So I got it as a Blu-ray from HMV, and yeah, and it's definitely, you know, a great movie, one of his best works, in my opinion. And it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's pretty funny as well, might add, with an amazing cast as well. So when it comes to the film's region, though, it does not say what region it is on the box. As for the disc itself, doesn't say either, but unlike Ed Wood and the other films which have a blue cover on, this thankfully has a cover on, which is pretty cool. So I'm so glad it actually has something on there. Then, next up, guys, we got on to the next film released 3 years after Mars Attacks, and this is probably, in my opinion, Tim Burton's darkest movie he's ever done that I've seen. And this was also released in the same year I was born as well, guys. And this film, of course, is none other than 1999's Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, this film, in my opinion, is absolutely fantastic. And it's just really fun to watch. And just like Mars Attacks, this film also has, in my opinion, one of the greatest cast of actors ever assembled as well in movie history. And it's definitely, you know, a lot of fun to watch. Really fun. And Johnny Depp, once again, gives a great performance in this as Ichabod Crane as well, which is great. And he stars it alongside a great cast and with Christina Ricci as well, which is pretty cool. So I'll definitely recommend Sleepy Hollow if you guys have not seen it. But in my opinion, it is Tim Burton's darkest film, so expect lots of dark things to happen in this, because it gets really dark. And in my opinion, it has the scariest soundtrack I've heard by Danny Elfman as well. I mean, Danny Elfman, of course, is probably Tim Burton's most frequent collaborator because he's composed for nearly all of his movies. And in this one, in my opinion, he gives, his scariest soundtrack. Now, after this, guys, so because I've not seen Planet of the Apes reboot, and I unfortunately don't own Big Fish just yet, I'm going to skip to, of course, the first of Tim Burton's films released in 2005. And this film, guys, is probably my second favourite film of his behind Batman. And this film, of course, is none other than 2005's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And this is a Blu-ray Steelbook, and I got this from Australia, shipped to me on eBay. So, on the front, you have Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka himself, and up there is the 5 children, of course, who get the golden tickets. Speaking of the tickets, Veritas on the back there, which is pretty cool. And when you open it up, there's the cover inside and the disc itself. And when it comes to shipping, guys, I got this film from Australia. And thankfully, Australia have the same region as me, which is Region B. But unfortunately, this film is only playable in that region. It's not playable in any other region apart from Region B. So yeah, but I'm thankful I was able to get it from a country with the right DD region, though. So yeah. But yeah, this film is amazing, guys. And in my opinion, it's the true adaptation of a book by Roald Dahl. Because for all you don't know, I personally hate the 1971 adaptation called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I hate that movie. That's an example of a film I hate that people like. So yeah, I just can't stand that movie. But this one, in my opinion, is the true version. Then on to his second film he did in 2005. This is actually, as well, one of my favourite animated movies of all time. And this film was done in stop motion, courtesy of Leica, working with Tim Burton on this movie. And this film, of course, is none other than 2005's Corpse Bride, which I also own as a Blu-ray Steelbook. So I'm going to take it out of this cover, because what's cool is it comes in like a protective case to put it in. So that means it can be protected from damage, which is brilliant. So it won't get dusty or anything like that, or damaged, which is brilliant. Just going to take it out now. So here it is, guys. And on the front, of course, you have Johnny Depp's character he voices in this, which, of course, is Victor Van Dort. And on the back, you have the Corpse Bride herself, Emily. And, of course, voiced by Helena Bonham Carter, who is another one of Tim Burton's most frequent collaborators in terms of the actors he works with. Johnny being one of them, of course. So yeah, I definitely really love Corpse Bride. It's also as well pretty dark as well, but still a great film nonetheless. And it's just so much fun to watch with a great voice cast of actors. And I got it from HMV as well, guys. And on the inside, you got some characters there in the cover. And unlike Vortis, which was just blue, this actually has a cover which has Victor and Emily right there, which is pretty cool. When it comes to a rating, the disc does not say what region it is, and neither does the Steelbook either. It just shows, the credits underneath there. It doesn't say the region. But I can assume, because it doesn't say, maybe it's region 3, I hope. That'd be great, wouldn't it? But rest assured, it plays in region B, though, where I live. So yeah, there's that. So I'm just going to pull that back now. Then on to his next movie he did, which of course is 2007's Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. This is probably another example of one of his most darkest movies he's done. And Johnny Depp was great as the title character, and so was Helena Bonham Carter as well in this, and alongside a great supporting cast of people like Alan Rickman, may rest in peace, and also Timothy Spall, Sacha Baron Cohen, and you as well have Jamie Kyle Bauer in this, of course, before he became well known to us as Vecna from Stranger Things. And yeah, so when it comes to this film's region, though, it doesn't say on the box, but and the same for the inside too. But the disc is pretty cool. It's got a picture of Sweeney Todd himself there, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I definitely like that. And you can definitely tell this film is dark because it's rated 18. So yeah, it's definitely very dark. If it's got that rating, it's got a rating for a reason. Then on to what is unfortunately my least favourite film by Tim Burton I've seen so far. This is an adaptation of a book by Lewis Carroll, and that is 2010's Alice in Wonderland. So when it comes to what I think of this film, guys, I mean, it does have a great cast of actors, don't get me wrong. You know, lots of great actors in this, but personally, I kind of feel the film can get a bit boring at times, and some people are unfortunately wasted, in my opinion, in terms of screen time. And I do feel the film overuses the CGI a little bit far too much. I mean, if you guys think the Star Wars prequels use too much CGI, wait to see this film, because in my opinion, this film uses far too much compared to Star Wars prequels. So yeah, when it comes to this film though, so when you take out the cardboard cover, that's what it looks like. There's a Mad Hatter himself, played by Johnny Depp. For what it is worth, Johnny was probably one of the best parts of the film for me, in my opinion, as per Mad Hatter. And according to a box, and of course to the disc itself, this film is region free, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah. But unfortunately though, the disc is just the blue cover. There's unfortunately nothing new there. It's just the generic blue cover. I mean, that's a nice title drawn onto it though. But yeah, I wish I'd a cover on maybe the Mad Hatter, but sadly not. But it is region free, so we can play it in any country, which is brilliant. Then on to another one of Tim Burton's, in my opinion, weak films, but still decent in my opinion. I believe this is based on a TV show as well, guys. And at the time of this recording, I have not seen the show yet. And this film is, of course, none other than 2012's Dark Shadows. And so far, this is the latest collaboration between Tim Burton and Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Because since this film, they've not appeared in any of his movies since this. And so this film, for what it is worth, was decent to watch though. And that's a pretty nice disc. I like how it's actually got a cover on and not just a generic blue one, which is nice. It, however, does not say what region it is though. So yeah, I can assume based on it not showing it, but maybe it's region 3, I hope. But yeah, that's Dark Shadows, guys. Then on to his second film he released in 2012, and this is actually as well the first Tim Burton film that I saw at the cinema, guys. And this is actually his second animated film he's done, which he's directed, and that of course is Frankenweenie. And this is of course based on the story of Frankenstein's monster, but of course where it's a dog this time, and it's actually a pretty good film in my opinion, underrated. I'd recommend it. It's definitely a lot of fun to watch, and I had a good time watching it at the cinema. And according to the box, and also according to the disc inside, it's region 3, which is brilliant. So, but unfortunately, that's ruined it by being a blue cover, sadly, which is a big shame. But I want to have a picture of the dog himself, or the characters. That's disappointing. But that's Frankenweenie, guys, my first Tim Burton film that I saw at the cinema. Then on to the latest film I have by Tim Burton, guys, physically, that I've seen. This film, in my opinion, is also decently good as well. And that, of course, is 2016's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So, I saw this film sometime last year, and I thought it was decently good, so I got it as a Blu-ray from HMV. And I thought it was good. Eva Green was good as a title character, and I had a good supporting cast of actors as well, such as Asa Butterfield, and also Terence Stamp as well, and also Dame Judi Dench, and Rupert Everett, Chris O'Dowd, and also as well Samuel L. Jackson as the film's villain, being Mr. Baron. Although I do feel that he was very underused in the film, which was disappointing. But Samuel Jackson still made his part entertaining, though, nonetheless. So when you're taking out the cardboard cover, that's what it looks like, same as the cardboard cover picture there. And so when you open it up, of course, so there's the disc there, and it's got a pretty nice picture there of Miss Peregrine herself there. And according to the box, and also as well to the back of the box, it's unfortunately playable in my region, which is region B. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But nonetheless, though, yeah, that's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the latest film by Tim Burton that I own. And that's it, guys, for my collection of films I have on Blu-ray by Tim Burton. So, yeah. As I said at the start of the video, guys, those ones which I don't own yet, I will hopefully get soon. And as for ones I've not seen yet, I'll probably give those a watch in the far future, see what I think of them. And I'll see if they're worth getting on Blu-ray or not. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what we saw, yeah. So, guys, this is me showing my Blu-ray collection of the films I have, which are directed by Tim Burton. So, you know, drill, guys, be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to also in the comments what you guys have on Blu-ray by Tim Burton. If you have any films by him on Blu-ray, let me know which ones you have in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe and videos coming in the future. If you would like to be a member, you can press on using a piece of that or a description, and I'll see you all later.